Assalamu alaikum dear students. Let's move further into the topic mechanical properties of fluid. In the last lecture we had studied about the angle of contact and how the liquid drop is formed. Now let's move further to the next topic, excess pressure across the free surface of a liquid. We all know what is free surface of a liquid. The liquid surface which is in contact with air only is called as free surface. So let us discuss what is a difference of pressure on this particular surface. First we are going to consider the simple plain liquid surface. It is just a container filled with a liquid. Here we have taken a flat liquid surface over here. Liquid surface is completely flat. For the sake of convenience, let us consider two distinct points, point A and point B. Point A is just above the free surface of a liquid and point B is just below the free surface of a liquid. You can consider these two molecules as a molecule of a liquid only or molecule of air. So let's talk about what sort of forces to be acted on these two particular points. First and foremost thing, let us consider the free surface of a liquid. Here the liquid surface is completely free. We all know that forces due to surface tension acts always tangential to the surface of a liquid. So the force due to surface tension will be tangential at these two particular positions. So let small ft be the force due to surface tension. So force due to surface tension on both the sides of these points, they will be exactly tangential and they will be directed opposite to each other. So they are tangential to the liquid surface and they are opposite to this particular position of the points A and B. So we can say that force due to surface tension are going to cancel each other out. Since the free surface of a liquid is still, it is not moving anywhere. It means what? Force acting on the surface from the above side or from the below side must be exactly equal. So here we have taken into account force due to surface tension which are nullifying each other. It means what? There is no net force acting on this free surface. Or you can say that the force acting on the point A, or point A is in the atmosphere, so force atmospheric pressure will be acting on it. So let Fa is the force due to atmospheric pressure. So force at point A will be exactly equal to force acting on point B. That is why this flat surface of a liquid is not moving anywhere, because all the forces are exactly equal. Or you can say that since both the forces are exactly equal, means the atmospheric pressure is exactly equal to the pressure below the liquid surface. So you can say that pressure above the free surface of a liquid is exactly equal to the pressure below it. PA is equal to PB when the liquid surface is flat. Now let's move further to the next type of surface, convex liquid surface. Here we have taken convex liquid surface. You can consider the example of mercury. We all know that mercury is liquid meniscus or free surface of a liquid. Mercury is not exactly flat, it is slightly curved, or you can say that it is a convex surface. So here also we will consider this point of a liquid. Above this point is point A and below this point is point B. Point B lies completely within the liquid and point A lies above the liquid meniscus. So let's talk about the forces acting on it. We all know that forces due to surface tension will come into account and these forces will always be tangential to the liquid surface. So here we are having the liquid surface, it is slightly inclined. So forces due to surface tension will be directed tangential to the liquid surface. These are the forces due to surface tension. Ft. Force acting at point A is the force due to atmospheric pressure Fa. There will be atmospheric pressure, and this atmospheric pressure is going to act in a vertically downward direction at this particular point. So this is our atmospheric force. Then let's talk about the point B. Point B, since it lies completely within the liquid, there are two forces due to surface tension, and these two forces, though they are opposite to each other, but they are not nullifying each other. They are not cancelling each other. Why they are not cancelling? Because they are not acting along a same straight line. It is just like they are forming two adjacent sides of the parallelogram. The resultant of these two forces will lie along the diagonal. When you complete the parallelogram, the resultant force will come along the diagonal. So this will be the force acting on point B. So resultant of these two forces due to surface tension, resultant of these two forces will be acting in a vertically downward direction. So you can say that point B is under the action of two type of forces. One is the atmospheric force, and the second one is forces due to surface tension. So you can say that force acting at point B is now, at this time, it is greater than force acting at point A. FB will be greater than FA, because there will be a resultant force due to surface tension. So in this case, we all know that both force and pressure both are almost same. So we can say that pressure acting at point B is greater than pressure acting at point A. One more thing, you can say that this point B is below the convex surface of a liquid. So here we can conclude one thing, that pressure below the convex surface of a liquid is greater than the pressure above it. Or when you observe this point B from the lower side, when you observe this point B from this position, you are not observing it from here, you are observing it from here. So you will come to know that this point B, for you, if you are the observer, you are standing here, for you, the surface of a liquid will appear concave now. So you can say here at this time, you are going to say that pressure above the concave surface of a liquid is greater than the pressure below it. Or when you are the observer, you are observing this phenomena from here, from this position, you will say that for this type of observer, for this position of the observer, this surface will be convex. So you will say that pressure below the convex surface is greater than the pressure above it. So there will be a two conclusion done by the two types of observer. So when the point is being observed by this type of observer, this observer is going to say that the pressure above the concave surface is greater than the pressure below it. Or in general, we can say that PB is greater than PA. So we are having two conclusions with us. One is pressure above and below the flat surface of a liquid, they are exactly equal. Pressure below the convex surface is greater than the pressure above it, or pressure above the concave surface is greater than the pressure below it. Now let us consider the third type of a liquid surface, which is a concave surface. Here we have taken a liquid inside a container, and this surface is concave. You can take the example of a kerosene. We all know that kerosene is forming a concave surface its meniscus is concave. Again, let us consider two distinct points, point A, point B. Point A is above the concave surface, point B is below the concave surface. And forces due to surface tension, they are going to act tangential to the liquid surface. So these forces are moving like this. Again, they are forming two adjacent sides of the parallelogram. Their resultant will be directed in a vertically upward direction, as the forces are like this time. These are the forces. The resultant will be along the diagonal. So the resultant force due to this surface tension is directed in a vertically upward direction. So this is the direction of force due to surface tension. This is also Ft, this is also F. This is the resultant force. And atmospheric pressure is directed in a vertically downward direction. So here we can say that atmospheric pressure, force acting above the liquid surface and below the liquid surface. Here the resultant of these two forces are directed in a vertically upward direction. So pressure or the force acting at point A will be greater than the force acting at point B. Or you can say that point A is above the concave surface. So we will say that the pressure, I told you that force and pressure both are almost equal. So pressure at point A will be greater than pressure at point B. Or in general, we can say that pressure above the concave surface is greater than the pressure below it. So these are the few conclusions that we should remember. We just have to remember only two conclusions. One is pressure above and below the flat surface of a liquid are exactly equal. Pressure above the concave surface will always be greater than the pressure below it. So here, if the liquid surface is like this, resultant force due to surface tension will come like this. So pressure above the concave surface will be greater. If you are observing this convex surface from here, the convex surface will appear concave only, and you'll come to know that the pressure above is greater than the pressure below it. So there will be only two conclusions. One is pressure above and below the free surface of a liquid will be exactly equal, and pressure above the concave surface will always be greater than the pressure below it. Now let's move further. Let's move further to the very important derivation of your textbook. Excess pressure inside a liquid drop or inside a soap bubble. We all know that all the liquid drop or all the bubbles are almost spherical in shape. Though they are being acted upon by the atmospheric pressure, they are maintaining their shape. Why they are maintaining their shape? Because the pressure inside the liquid drop or pressure inside a soap bubble is quite higher than the atmospheric pressure. Then it will be able to survive. Why it does not collapse? Because the excess pressure inside the liquid drop will not let the drop to collapse because it is quite smaller. So let's find out the excess pressure inside a liquid drop. Here we have taken one liquid drop. It is a drop of a liquid. Afterward, we are going to consider the bubble. First, let us consider a liquid drop, and this drop is having a radius small r. Let Pi is the pressure inside a liquid drop. We all know that it is greater. That is why it is not being collapsed by the atmospheric pressure, because Pi is greater than Po. Let Po is the atmospheric pressure. So how we are going to find out? We'll have to derive the expression for excess pressure inside a liquid drop. Excess pressure means what? Greater pressure minus smaller pressure. Pi minus Po. We are going to find out the derivation for this one. Pi minus Po. This is nothing but the excess pressure inside a liquid drop. So let us see how we are going to derive the expression for it. First and foremost thing, consider a liquid drop of radius r. Let Pi is the pressure inside a liquid drop and Po is the pressure outside a liquid drop. So excess pressure will have the equation Pi minus Po. We'll have to find out its derivation. So how we are going to find out? Suppose the liquid drop, let us increase the size of this liquid drop. Suppose its radius is being increased by the small amount, say delta r. Let us increase the size of a liquid drop and its radius is being increased by a small amount, say delta r. So this will be the final shape of a liquid drop. So let A1 is the initial surface area of a liquid drop. What is the formula of a surface area? We all know that it is 4 pi r square. So it is 4 pi r square. Give this one as equation number 1. This is the initial surface area. And what we have to do, we'll have to increase the surface area of a liquid drop. So we have just increased the liquid surface area of a liquid drop so that its radius changes by delta r only. And we will get a new drop of radius r plus delta r. So increment second area, change area, or you can say increased area of a liquid drop is 4 pi and r will be replaced by r plus delta r. Let us expand it. We are going to get, it is just like a plus b the whole square. It is 4 pi r square plus 2r delta r plus delta r square. And since this delta r is very smaller than r, so we can neglect this quantity delta r. So neglecting this quantity, we are going to get 4 pi r square plus 8 pi r delta r, as this 4 is going to be multiplied. And this term will be neglected because it is very small in numeral. So this is the second area of a liquid drop. Give this one as equation number 2. Then let's find out increased area. Area increment is A2 minus A1. Subtracting equation 1 from equation 2. When you subtract it, you're going to get that 4 pi r square. These two terms are common in A1 and A2. These two terms are going to cancel. Only thing that you are going to get over here is 8 pi r delta r. Give this one as equation number 3. This is the increased area, increased surface area of a liquid drop. We all know that liquid surface does not want any increment in the surface area because of the surface tension. So here we have increased the surface area. For this particular increment, certain amount of work is supposed to be done. So let's say the small work done in order to increase the surface area of a liquid is dW, and we all know that this dW is having the formula from the definition of surface tension or surface energy. We know that dW is equal to T into dA, where T is the surface tension. So dW is equal to, this dA is nothing but our equation number 3, increased in the surface area. This TA is nothing but A2 minus A1. Substitute the value of A2 minus A1 from equation 3. We will get T into 8 pi R delta R is equal to dW. But we all know that this work done is nothing but force into displacement. Force into displacement. What sort of displacement is done over here? There will be just a displacement of delta R. So F into delta R is equal to T into 8 pi R delta R. This is nothing but force into displacement. Now, this force, we all know that force is nothing but pressure into area. So F will be replaced by pressure into area. F will be replaced by excess pressure into surface area. Is equal to force. So excess pressure is nothing but, first and foremost thing, give this one as equation number 4. Excess pressure is nothing but Pi minus Po. Inside pressure minus outside pressure. Surface area of a liquid drop is 4 pi R square. So just substitute this value in equation number 4. Substitute this value in equation number 4. One more thing, in our equation number 4 we can directly cancel delta R. Then after the substitution, substitute this value of force here in equation number 4. We all know that force is equal to Pi minus Po. Pi minus Po into 4 pi R square is equal to T into 8 pi R. So here also some of the terms are going to be cancelled. R will be 1 R square, 1 R from the R square will get cancelled. Pi is going to cancel. 4 ones are 4, 4 twos are 8. So we are going to get Pi minus Po. Here what is remaining? Only R is equal to, everything is being cancelled here, only 2T is remaining. So Pi minus Po is equal to 2T upon R. This is the required expression for the excess pressure inside a liquid drop. Suppose instead of a liquid drop we are having a soap bubble. If there is a bubble, then what we'll have to do? We all know that bubble is always going to have two surfaces of a liquid. So you just need to multiply this equation with 2. At that time, excess pressure inside a liquid soap bubble will be equal to 2 into 2T upon R, because there will be an increment of two surfaces. So the final formula for the excess pressure will become 4T upon R. This is for the soap bubble and this is for the liquid drop. So in this way you are going to get the expression for the excess pressure inside a liquid drop. Let's repeat it quickly so that, revise it so that you can easily learn it. Excess pressure means you'll have to find out the expression for Pi minus Po. Here we have taken one liquid drop of radius R, and what we will have to do, to include the concept of surface tension over here, we'll have to increase the surface area of a liquid drop. So here we have increased the surface area, or initial surface area of a liquid drop is 4 pi r square, and let's increase the surface area of a liquid drop by increasing its radius by delta r. Its second surface area will become 4 pi r plus delta r the whole square. On expanding this with the help of the formula a plus b the whole square, we are going to get this term 4 pi r square plus 2r delta r plus delta r square. Then delta r is very smaller than the original radius of a liquid drop. So this last term, square of this very smallest term, will be neglected. So after the expansion, we are going to get second area 4 pi r square plus 8 pi r delta r. Then by how much amount the area has been increased? So increased area of a liquid drop will be written as A2 minus A1, which is equal to, when you subtract this equation 1 from equation 2, this first term is going to cancel. This remaining term will come over here. It will be 8 pi r delta r. Then after that, let's find out the work done to increase the surface area of a liquid drop. dW is equal to, from the definition of surface tension, we all know that dW is equal to T into dA, where dA is nothing but A2 minus A1. And A2 minus A1, we are already having the expression of it. It is 8 pi r delta r. So substitute the value of increased area. We are going to get the work done dW as T into 8 pi r delta r. But we all know that work done is nothing but force into displacement. By this much amount of displacement is done, delta r. So force into delta r is a replacement of dW. So F into delta r is equal to T into 8 pi r delta r. Then delta r is going to get cancelled. Then we are going to write down this will be written as equation number 4. Then let's search for the expression for force. We all know that force is nothing but pressure into area. So excess pressure is, instead of pressure, we will find out the concept of excess pressure. So excess pressure into surface area is equal to F. So Pi minus Po into surface area is 4 pi r square. Then substituting the value of force in equation 4, we are going to get Pi minus Po into 4 pi r square is equal to T into 8 pi r. Cancelling the similar term, we are going to get Pi minus Po is equal to 2T upon r. Then this was the expression for the 2T upon r. This is the expression for the excess pressure inside a liquid drop. For a liquid bubble, we just have to multiply this expression with 2, because the soap bubble or a liquid bubble will always have two surfaces. So once you multiply it, the expression will become 4T upon r. So in this way you can easily derive the expression for the excess pressure. Hope you'll have understood the concept. Thank you.